The entire plot of Season 2 of Good Omens revolves around memories.
Think hard. What is the very first thing you remember?
Gabriel's were about to be stolen from him, so he put them somewhere else. Although Beelzebub wasn't there to protect him, the matchbox and the fly provided a way for him to temporarily safeguard his memories. In Season 1, Episode 3, we have a sort of compilation of a bunch of short moments of Aziraphale and Crowley throughout history, but in Season 2, we have 4 mini-episodes of history, 3 of which take up more than half of the episode runtime. In each case, these are memories that relate to what's going on in the modern day of the episode, and they give us a bit more information about the journey of Crowley and Aziraphale together and their individual journeys as well. There are discussions and hints about who remembers who and who doesn't, about remembering why certain things are the way they are, like gravity, and about what it feels like to lose your memory. The Book of Life is mentioned at least twice in the context of being able to erase someone as if they had never existed.
You will never have existed, Aziraphale.
And what would that look like exactly? It would, among other things, mean that other people can't remember them, and that the actions they took, the effects they had on others' lives, would also be erased, like George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life. But why this heavy emphasis on memory in Season 2? We all know who Gabriel is still. The mystery is really barely a mystery at all. It's more about having to hide certain experiences that he's had that changed him. The entirety of Season 2 feels almost more like a series of character vignettes than a full season of TV with a big, overarching plot, which obviously worked well for this soft middle between two Armageddons, but I still think it begs the question, why pick this difficult subject as a plot device? This topic gets a little dark and serious, especially for a TV show that is essentially a comedy. With that warning out of the way, let's try and answer the question. When Gabriel arrives at Aziraphale's bookshop, he's like a newborn. He's naked, his mind is a blank slate. Aziraphale has a hard time buying that it's really even Gabriel. He even renames him Jim. While in the story, this serves the purpose of Aziraphale hiding Gabriel until he knows what's going on, it also functions to show that Gabriel and Jim are fundamentally not the same person. Jim is wearing Gabriel's body, but he's not Gabriel. He describes this feeling, knowing that memories should be in there somewhere, but they aren't, as looking at a house with all the furniture missing. It's an interesting description of how people suffering from severe memory loss might feel. They know they should know, they know that something is missing, but they can't do anything about it. Even Crowley, not the forgiving sort, seems to finally realize that Jim isn't Gabriel, and Jim keeps protesting, "I don't think that was me," when Crowley accuses him of trying to kill Aziraphale. When Beelzebub finally locates him and arrives in episode 6, they aren't really interested in Jim. They barely even glance at him, even after Crowley and Aziraphale reveal that they've hidden him. They call over the fly that contains Gabriel and say,
"This is where you are keeping all your memories. All your... you."
Beelzebub knows that the being they love is not the shell over there with the goofy sweater and the charming smile. The being they love is stored in the fly. I think it's even up in the air if any of Jim's memories are still in there, because once his memories are restored, he seems quite surprised to see everyone, including Aziraphale. So if this experience as Jim isn't why Gabriel is a slightly better angel than he was just a couple of years ago, what caused the change? One of the writers replied in the past when asked by a fan if we were meant to like Jim but hate Gabriel, that yes, we were invited to think about the reasons that might be. As far as we know, Gabriel has been Supreme Archangel since Lucifer vacated the position in the fall. Presumably, he was high up even before that. Gabriel has never known what it is to struggle, to have other people tell you what to do. He's an elite, but he's also never had a friend. He's never known kindness or compassion or mercy. He knows the terms, but he has no experience with them. Is he awful? 100%, he's the worst. He did tell Aziraphale to hurry up and die, and he didn't give a second thought to the pain and suffering the war between heaven and hell was causing anyone but him. But now, you see, now he's experienced a moment of kindness, and he knows what it is to relate to another being. Just one, so far, but it's a start. It actually reminds me a little of The Good Place. Given enough time and the right circumstances, everyone is capable of change. We know who we are today, but who might we be tomorrow? Our experiences and memories of those lived experiences shape who we are. They shape how other people perceive us and how we perceive ourselves. Sir Terry Pratchett, co-author of Good Omens and a prolific and beloved fantasy author, died at his home on March 12th in 2015 at the age of 66 from complications of Alzheimer's disease. He was diagnosed at the age of 59. He gave lectures and continued to work on his writing after his diagnosis, demonstrating that people can live full, happy lives with diseases that affect memory.
When I heard my diagnosis, my PA, Rob, said, "Who are we going to tell?" And I said, "Let's tell everybody."
As ever, he faced his challenges with good humor and a positive attitude. But still, of course, it was a struggle for him and for those who knew him and loved him. Just 5 months before he passed away, Terry Pratchett wrote 5 letters, sealed them, and locked them away in a safe in his office. He instructed that they only be opened after his death. In an interview with The Guardian in 2022, Rob Wilkins, Pratchett's writing assistant and friend, shared the letter that had been left for him. You can read the full letter here and in the description, but it reads in part, "Dear Rob, so, I have gone. There were days when I felt I had already gone, and so all I wish for now is a cool, quiet room and some peace to gather my addled thoughts. I think I was good, although I could have been better. But Terry Pratchett is dead, and there are no more words." It concludes, "Learn to fly. Do it now, and mind how you go. Strive. Terry." I think, sadly, that Terry Pratchett might very well have understood what it felt like to be an empty house.
A house.
Yes, a house. Someone lived for a very long time, but now they're gone. But the house can sort of tell where the things used to be.
Terry Pratchett was also an atheist, not the angry sort, the philosophical, humorous sort. In an interview on Front Row, he described an experience of hearing his dead father's voice and feeling a sense of peace. When some people assumed it meant he'd found God, he clarified that he had not. Instead, he believed that his father's voice had come to him from a memory. And Terry himself understood the value of memories long before his diagnosis. Other people salted away money for their old age, but Nanny preferred to accumulate memories. Nanny Ogg, via Terry Pratchett, Masquerade. So you see, although Sir Terry Pratchett is dead, and there are no more words, he honestly still does live on in the memory of his friends and family, his fans, and the words he wrote down and shared with the world. We are all of us matchboxes, or flies, containing precious pieces of other people. That's the afterlife that we're all assured of, the memories we leave behind. Now, Terry didn't write season 2, but someone who considered him a friend did, and many other people who remained close to Terry right up until his death, like Rob Wilkins, were heavily involved as well. Rob Wilkins, who continues to be involved in the finale. So now a prediction. I do think season 3 will continue the themes of memory being core to who we are. It seems likely one or the other, Aziraphale or Crowley, will be affected by memory loss, the Book of Life or some other mechanism being in play, and perhaps the fact that they have so many shared memories, the other will help restore them. I think this plays right into these themes and uses a lot of the story elements that have been put into place as well. Back when we still were getting a full season, I would have guessed that we would see Gabriel and Beelzebub return. I hope that we would continue to see them grow as beings as they experienced more of the world. But now I think that storyline might be cut for time. So, in the end, yes, as silly as it was, the memory storyline in season 2 I do think is important, and I do think it's a lot deeper than what we see on the surface. Do remember the upcoming talent show. The deadline is still April 25th, and we will be streaming live on May 9th and May 10th. You can check out the link in the description below for all of the rules, and we look forward to seeing you there. We have a bunch of lovely guests lined up. We have a bunch of wonderful prizes lined up. As always, I'd like to thank my friends, my patrons, and of course, to you, dear viewer, who make all of this possible. Thanks for watching.